Friends, we are very happy to inform you that e-modules are prepared for B.Ed program at Telangana by the School of Education, Osmania University under Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme MHRD New Delhi. It's indeed our pleasure to share with the teacher educators and the prospective teachers and get maximum benefit out of it. It's a first of its attempt by us. We continue to add many more such lessons to share with you all.
I am Dr. Bhagyamma, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Education, Osmania University. Today I am going to discuss about Social Sciences topic, Key Concepts in Geography. Geography is the study of places and the relationships between people and their environments. Geographers explore both the physical properties of Earth's surface and the human societies spread across it. They also examine how human culture interacts with the natural environment and the way that locations and places can have an impact on people. Geography seeks to understand where things are found, why they are there, and how they develop and change over time. The term geography comes to us from the ancient Greeks, who needed a word to describe the writings and maps that were helping them make sense of the world in which they lived. In Greek, geo means earth and graphy means to write. Using geography, Greeks developed an understanding of where their homeland was located in relation to other places, what their own and other places were like, and how people and environments were distributed. Of course, the Greeks were not the only people interested in geography. Throughout human history, most societies have sought to understand something about their place in the world and the people and environments around them. Indeed, map making probably came even before writing in many places, but ancient Greek geographers were particularly influential. They developed very detailed maps of areas in and around Greece, including parts of Europe, Africa, and Asia. The main objective of this lesson is to bring out the key concepts of geography into one shot. For the output of this lesson, we mostly relied on secondary data from various books, journals, internet, manuscripts, etc. Purpose of study. A high quality geography education should inspire in people's a curiosity and fascination about the world and its people that will remain with them for the rest of their lives. Teaching should equip peoples with knowledge about diverse places, people, resources, and natural and human environments, together with a deep understanding of the Earth's key physical and human processes. Aims. The national curriculum for geography aims to ensure that all peoples develop contextual knowledge of the location of globally significant places, both terrestrial and marine, including their defining physical and human characteristics and how these provide a geographical context for understanding the actions of processes. Understand the processes that give rise to key physical and human geographical features of the world. How these are interdependent and how they bring about spatial variation and change over time. Collect, analyze and communicate with a range of data gathered through experiences of fieldwork that deepen their understanding of geographical processes. Interpret a range of sources of geographical information, it including maps, diagrams, globes, aerial photographs and geographical information systems (GIS). Communicate geographical information in a variety of ways, including through maps, numerical and quantitative skills and writing at length. Content of the subject. Students should consolidate and extend their knowledge of the world's major countries and their physical and human features. They should understand how geographical processes interact to create distinctive human and physical landscapes that change over time. They should become aware of increasingly complex geographical systems in the world around them. They should develop greater competency in using geographical knowledge, approaches and concepts such as models and theories, and geographical skills in analyzing and interpreting different data sources. In this way, people will continue to enrich their locational knowledge and spatial environmental understanding. Geography may be studied by way of several interrelated approaches. The systematic approach organizes geographical knowledge into individual categories that are studied on a worldwide basis. The regional approach integrates the results of the systematic method and studies the interrelationships of the different categories while focusing on a particular area of the earth. The descriptive approach. It depicts where geographical features and populations are located. The analytical approach. It seeks to find out why those features are located where they are. Next, place. Where is our place? It is a common enough question to ask someone where they live. But there is more behind this question than you might think. A reply might be as generic as a suburb, as specific as a street address or with the aid of smartphone, even a latitude and longitude. The latter two are regarded as absolute locations. There being no other place on earth, that means that locational definition. In addition, a 6-figure grid reference from a topographic map will allow you to give an absolute location. Location is the where of place and is an important component of place in its own right. Scale in geography. Scale is about size, either relative absolute and involves a fundamental set of issues in geography. Scale primarily concerns space in geography, and this article will focus on spatial scale. However, the domains of temporal and the thematic scale are also important to geographers. Temporal scale deals with the size of time units. Thematic scale with the grouping of entities or attributes such as people or weather variables. Whether spatial, temporal or thematic scale in fact has several meanings in geography. A map scale is the map distance ratio that corresponds to the actual ground distance. The scale on the map, it presents a distance measurement between each landmark. For example, on a 1:1 lakh centimeter scale map shows that 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer on the ground. Types of scales. Fractional or ratio scale. A fractional scale map shows the fraction of an object or land feature on the map. This type uses a set of numbers that represents the object or a landmark. As an example, on the left photo, the orange shaded scale represents 2/3 fractional scale. Representative fraction. If 1 centimeter length of drawing represents 5 meters length of the object, then in engineering scale it is written as 1 centimeter is equal to 5 meters, and in graphical scale it is denoted by representative fraction is equal to 1 centimeter by 5 meter is equal to 1 centimeter by 500 centimeter, it is equal to 1 by 500. Linear scale. A linear scale shows the distance between two or more prominent landmarks. The linear scale on maps is a set of lines or dots that represents a landmark. An example on the left photo is a map using a linear scale on each road. Statement scale. This type of scale uses simple words to describe a prominent surface feature. A statement map scale expands abbreviations to describe a landmark or an object. An example is the image to the left describes a scale as centimeter is equal to 15 kilometers. We can see in the map centimeter on the map and downside kilometer on the ground. Time and space. The concepts of time and space are very important for understanding the function of phenomenon in the natural world. Time is important to physical geographers because the spatial patterns they study can often only be explained in historic terms. The measurement of time is not absolute. Time is perceived by humans in relative fashion by using human created units of measurement. Examples of human created units of time are the measurement of seconds, minutes, hours and days. Like that we can count months and years. Geographers generally conceptualize two types of space. Concrete space represents the real world or environment. Abstract space models reality in a way that distills much of the spatial information contained in the real world. Maps are an excellent example of abstract space. Finally, like time, space is also perceived by humans in a relative fashion by using human created units of measurement. Both time and space are variable in terms of scale. As such, researchers of natural phenomena must investigate their subjects in the appropriate temporal or spatial scales. Mapping. What is a mapping? So, mapping is a map creation process to show a part of Earth's specific surface detail. A map creator positions that exact location of a mountain, a building or a road and bridge. Mapping uses computer graphic, hand drawing and painting to show the detail of the map's landmarks. Mapping provides important information about the landmark features. Maps analyze changes to a structure or a landmark. A map requires regular update if there are significant changes observed in land features. One example is showing the presence of newly constructed buildings, roads and bridges. Like text, maps speak to us in a language of lines and symbols. They convey a sense of place at a certain time, and they tell us stories about the past and the present. Maps are essential spatial tools that help us weigh, find or navigate the world. They also help us learn about and to analyze various places and situations affecting our world. Maps help us to convey information and to tell stories in a visual way. People have been making and sharing maps for thousands of years. The earliest known map is a nearly 14,000-year-old stone tablet found in a cave in Abonge in the Navarra region of the northern Spain. Maps may be printed on paper or presented digitally so that they can be accessed on computers and mobile devices. Maps can focus on a large space or a small space. Physical maps show land masses, bodies of water, mountain ranges and other features of Earth. Mapping tools. What are the mapping tools? Avenger PDF Maps app. It is a free geospatial PDF, GeoPDF and GeoTIFF reader for Apple iOS and Android smartphones and tablets. Elevations and distances in the United States. Exploring ecosystems using GIS, a National Geographic exercise for grades 6 to 8 that examines how a nature preserve is affected by human and biological features within and surrounding it. Field Scope, a National Geographic online mapping program for citizen science investigators. GIS for kids, ARC GIS online, GIS education community website, Google Maps education, Google Earth tutorials, Map Maker interactive, a National Geographic tool for creating customized maps on tablets incorporating text, photos and videos. North American Environmental Atlas, overlap maps, instantly it compare any two places on earth. Social Explorer, easy to use web interface that lets users create maps and reports using US Census data to illustrate, analyze and understanding demography and social change. Geographical skills and fieldwork. Fieldwork covers the wide range of skills needed to plan a piece of fieldwork, collect your data, example you are using questionnaires, measurements, land use surveys, analyze your results through graphs, maps, etc. Reach a conclusion and communicate your findings. Build on their knowledge of globes, maps and atlases and apply and develop this knowledge routinely in the classroom and in the field. Interpret ordnance survey maps in the classroom and the field, including using grid references and scale, topographical and other thematic mapping and aerial and satellite photographs. GIS, use geographical information systems to view, analyze and interpret places and data. Use fieldwork in contrasting locations to collect, analyze and draw conclusions from. The geographical data using multiple sources of increasingly complex information. Importance of geography. What is the importance? To understand basic physical systems that affect everyday life. Example, earth, sun relationships, water cycles, wind and ocean currents. To learn the location of places and the physical and cultural characteristics of those places in order to function more effectively in our increasingly interdependent world. To understand the geography of past times and how geography has played important role in the evolution of people, their ideas, places and environments. To understand the spatial organization of society and see order in what often appears to be random scattering of people and places. To recognize spatial distributions at all scales, local and worldwide, in order to understand the complex connectivity of people and places. To be able to make sensible judgments about matters involving relationships between the physical environment and society. To develop a mental map of your community, province or territory, country and the world so that you can understand the where of places and events. To explain how the process of human and physical systems have arranged and sometimes changed the surface of the earth. To appreciate earth as the homeland of humankind and provide insight for wise management decisions about how the planet's resources should be used. To understand global interdependence and to become a better global citizen. Conclusion. We can conclude it. Nature is the basic or inherent feature of something, especially when seen as a characteristics of it. So, nature of geography. We can know by knowing the chronological development in geography at successive stage and their characteristics. Some of the earliest questions formulated by primitive man were related to the nature of his natural surroundings. Man, like many other animals, identifies a particular extent of territory as his living space and is curious to know about the world outside his own living space. This curiosity compels him to explore what it is like beyond the frontiers of his own home ground. Geography was born to satisfy this twofold curiosity and to enable man to acquire knowledge about the lands and people lying beyond his familiar world. So, the history of geographical ideas therefore constitute the record of man's effort to give more and more logical and useful knowledge of the human habitat and man's spread over the earth surface. This journey starts even before the Greek period to Greek, Romans, Dark Age in Europe and consequent development on Arab lands, age of exploration and its effect on geographical knowledge, then debate on man-environmental relationship, that if man is active or passive agent in environment and related philosophy like environmental determinism, possibilism, neo-determinism, etc. In 1950s and 1960s, the marked debate between Richard Hartshorne and Schaffer and related quantitative revolution in geography, then after rise of behavioral and humanistic geography due in dissatisfaction with quantitative methods in geography, then after many trends like Marxist geography, radical geography, postmodernism and post-structural geography, etc. So, geography is concerned with the study of problems involving location the same way as history is concerned with a problem involving sequences of events in the past. Geography is still the field that deals with the association of phenomena that give character to particular place and worth likenesses and differences among places. So, nature of geography had not been same in different periods of time if we see the chronology of geography, but whatever the context, geography is always concerned with the characteristics of places on the surface of the earth. So, we can conclude that by its nature, geography is concerned with almost everything on the face of the earth, in the sense that any phenomenon that is irregularly distributed over the earth's surface can be studied by the geographic method. It has spatial in nature, it has temporal nature, it has quantitative nature, and it has qualitative nature. Thank you.